anxious wait
A
tonight.
cyber attack against telecommunications giant Optus.
One of the biggest cyber attacks in Australian history.
A distressing development in Medibank's cyber attack.
All of its 3.7 million customers at risk. Every 7 minutes.
Join me as I dive into Africa's economy, cybercrime, technology, and everything that impacts the continent's growth. Today, we're uncovering a critical topic that's silently growing into a massive threat: cybercrime. You might think of cybercrime as an issue only affecting big tech hubs or Western countries, but it's hitting Africa hard, and the impact is more severe than many realize. Did you know that Africa's cybercrime rates have exploded in recent years, costing billions of dollars and threatening economic growth? Yes, it's true. As the continent becomes more digitized, it also becomes a target for cybercriminals. With nations like South Africa and Nigeria at the forefront of digital adoption, these economies are becoming hotbeds for cyber threats. The question is, how is this invisible war affecting Africa's economic landscape? And what are the solutions? Today, we'll explore the rise of cybercrime in Africa, its economic implications, and what needs to be done to protect the continent's digital future. Buckle up as we unveil the dark side of Africa's digital revolution. Cybercrime in Africa isn't just a recent development. It's been brewing for a while. However, its rapid rise has caught many off guard. Historically, cyber threats in Africa were minor compared to other continents, largely due to lower internet penetration rates. But as Africa's digital economy has expanded, so has the scope for criminal activities. From 2015 to 2023, Africa's internet penetration rate skyrocketed from 16% to over 43%, and the continent now has over 570 million internet users. With this surge, cybercriminals have found a massive pool of vulnerable targets. So, what's driving this explosion? Before we continue, a quick reminder to like this video if you're enjoying the content so far. And don't forget to subscribe to African Finance Watch for more insights into Africa's economic trends and investment opportunities. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest updates. Now let's continue. First, Africa's growing digital infrastructure means more people are banking online, shopping digitally, and using mobile wallets. In countries like Nigeria and South Africa, fintech has boomed, but so has the sophistication of hackers targeting these platforms. The expansion of e-commerce platforms and the widespread use of mobile payment services, such as Kenya's M-Pesa, has provided a fertile ground for criminals looking to exploit the digital shift. Another factor is the lack of robust cybersecurity measures. Many African countries lag in developing the infrastructure and regulations needed to protect their digital ecosystems. Limited resources and expertise mean that even major institutions, like banks and government offices, have weak defenses, making them prime targets. Finally, there's the socio-economic dimension. High youth unemployment rates across Africa mean that some tech-savvy individuals, unable to find legitimate work, turn to cybercrime as an income source. It's a perfect storm, one that has left Africa highly vulnerable. So what types of cybercrime are prevalent in Africa? Well, cybercrime in Africa isn't just one thing. It comes in various forms, each with its own economic implications. Let's break down the most common types plaguing the continent. Financial fraud and scams. Financial fraud, including phishing attacks, is the most widespread cybercrime in Africa. Cybercriminals send fake emails, posing as legitimate entities like banks or government agencies, tricking individuals into revealing sensitive information. In South Africa alone, financial phishing scams cost businesses and individuals millions of dollars each year. Scammers often lure victims into revealing their banking details or paying fake invoices, draining their accounts before they even realize what's happening. Identity theft. Identity theft is becoming increasingly common as more Africans share personal information online. Hackers gain access to personal data through weak security systems and use this information to impersonate individuals, opening bank accounts, and making fraudulent purchases. A report by the African Cybersecurity Conference noted that in Nigeria, over 60% of cybercrime cases in 2022 involved some form of identity theft, showing how prevalent and damaging this form of crime has become. Ransomware attacks. Ransomware is another significant threat, especially for businesses and government institutions. Criminals infiltrate systems, lock them down, and demand payment in exchange for restoring access. South Africa's City Power faced a major ransomware attack in 2019 that disrupted power services and crippled systems for days, costing millions in recovery efforts. Such attacks not only cost money directly, but also damage business reputation and shake public trust. Cyber espionage. Finally, cyber espionage is a growing concern. With Africa's political landscape often turbulent and countries dealing with internal and cross-border conflicts, state-sponsored hackers and cybercriminals are using espionage tactics to gather intelligence. This has far-reaching implications, especially in countries like Ethiopia and Sudan, where information warfare is becoming a tool in political battles. These types of cybercrime not only disrupt the economy, but also create a sense of insecurity among investors and businesses. But how exactly does this translate into economic impact? Let's dig into the numbers. I hear some asking, what are the economic impact of cybercrime? Now, here's where things get serious. Cybercrime isn't just an inconvenience. It has real, tangible effects on Africa's economy. Let's talk numbers. According to the Africa Cybersecurity Report, cybercrime costs the continent over $4 billion annually, with South Africa alone losing around $570 million each year. That's not small change. These losses stem from direct theft, business interruptions, and damage control expenses following cyber attacks. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. 1. Direct financial losses. Companies across Africa face direct financial losses due to cybercrime. For instance, in Nigeria, the banking sector lost over $500 million in 2021 alone to cyberfraud. Attacks like these don't just affect businesses, but also erode consumer trust. Imagine losing your savings because of a phishing scam. Would you trust that bank again? For many Africans, the answer is no, and that loss of trust can have ripple effects throughout the economy. 2. Damage to business reputation. When companies are attacked, especially major institutions like banks or telecommunications firms, their reputation takes a hit. Take, for example, the South African insurance company that had to pay millions after a data breach exposed client information. Such incidents can lead to reduced customer loyalty, drops in stock prices, and ultimately, a slowdown in economic growth as businesses struggle to rebuild trust. 3. Reduced foreign investment. Investors are wary of unstable environments, and when cybercrime becomes rampant, it scares away much-needed foreign direct investment, FDI. South Africa, which traditionally attracts significant FDI, has seen fluctuations due to the perception of cybersecurity risks. Investors don't want to put their money into a country where their assets could be compromised, and this hesitancy impacts economic growth. 4. Impact on GDP and economic growth. Cybercrime's ripple effects extend to GDP. A World Bank study indicated that cybercrime could reduce Africa's GDP by 0.51% annually. For perspective, in a continent striving for economic development, even a 0.5% GDP loss is substantial. It's a blow to the continent's efforts to boost digital economies, create jobs, and improve the quality of life for millions. To bring home the reality, let's look at some case studies and major cybercrime incidents in Africa to illustrate the severity of the issue. Here are some major cybercrime incidents that shook Africa. 1. The South African Department of Justice hack. 2021. In September 2021, South Africa's Department of Justice fell victim to a ransomware attack that crippled its digital systems. Hackers demanded a ransom to restore access, which disrupted court proceedings nationwide. This attack not only caused significant financial loss, but also hindered the country's legal processes, showing how deeply cybercrime can impact critical government functions. 2. Nigerian banking sector breaches, 2020. In 2020, multiple banks in Nigeria experienced sophisticated cyber attacks, leading to substantial financial losses. The attacks exposed the vulnerability of digital banking infrastructure in Nigeria and raised concerns over the country's preparedness in handling such threats. The incident highlighted the urgent need for stronger cybersecurity measures and better digital literacy among customers. 3. Ghana's Electoral Commission website attack, 2020. During Ghana's 2020 general elections, the website of the country's Electoral Commission was targeted by hackers attempting to disrupt the election process. Although the attack was contained, it raised alarm about the security of vital national systems and the potential implications of cybercrime on democracy and political stability. These incidents demonstrate that no sector is safe, and the consequences of cybercrime are far-reaching. Africa is not just sitting back and watching, they are fighting back. However, Africa's battle against cybercrime faces numerous challenges. Let's discuss a few. 1. Lack of cybersecurity infrastructure. Many African countries lack the resources to build robust cybersecurity frameworks. The infrastructure needed to monitor, prevent, and respond to cyber threats is expensive. And, for nations grappling with economic and political issues, cybersecurity often takes a back seat. 2. Insufficient legal frameworks. While countries like South Africa and Nigeria have introduced cyber laws, many others still operate in a regulatory vacuum. This means criminals often go unpunished, or legal proceedings move too slowly to act as a deterrent. Without a unified continental approach, cybercriminals easily exploit gaps in the legal system. 3. Limited awareness and education. A major barrier is the lack of digital literacy and awareness among the public. Many people, especially in rural areas, are unaware of basic cybersecurity practices. Even in urban centers, users fall prey to phishing scams and fake websites due to insufficient education on these threats. But despite the challenges, there are efforts underway to combat the rise of cybercrime in Africa. Governments and the private sector are gradually stepping up. 1. National cybersecurity strategies. Countries like South Africa and Kenya have developed national cybersecurity strategies aimed at enhancing their digital defenses. These strategies focus on building cyber resilience by investing in digital infrastructure, creating regulatory frameworks, and enhancing law enforcement capabilities to tackle cyber threats. 2. Public-private partnerships. Collaborations between governments and private entities are becoming more common. In Nigeria, partnerships between banks and government agencies are helping create better security protocols for online transactions. Similarly, South Africa's tech industry is working alongside the government to set up stronger cybersecurity measures and response systems. 3. International cooperation efforts. Cybercrime knows no borders, and international collaboration is essential. Organizations like Interpol have partnered with African countries to combat cross-border cybercrime. For instance, Interpol's African Cyber Surge operation recently led to the arrest of dozens of cybercriminals in West Africa, highlighting the importance of such collaborations. Technology is not only a threat, it's also a solution. The rise of advanced cybersecurity tools is helping African countries fortify their digital defenses. 1. Emerging technologies for cybersecurity. Artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning, ML, are being deployed to detect and respond to cyber threats faster. In South Africa, some financial institutions are using AI-driven solutions to monitor suspicious transactions and detect fraud in real time, significantly reducing their vulnerability. 2. Importance of digital literacy. Strengthening technology without improving digital literacy is like building a fortress without soldiers. Digital literacy programs are essential, and initiatives are sprouting across Africa. For example, Nigeria's Cyber Safe Nigeria campaign educates citizens on safe online practices, while South Africa's National Cybersecurity Hub offers resources and training to small businesses and individuals. Looking ahead, cybercrime in Africa is only expected to grow, but so are the continent's defenses. By 2030, Africa's digital economy is projected to be worth over $300 billion, making it a prime target for cybercriminals. To protect this future, African nations need a multi-layered approach. Strengthening legal frameworks. Countries must establish and enforce strong cyber laws. Unified regulations across regions like the African Union would create a more consistent and effective approach to combating cyber threats. Investing in cybersecurity infrastructure. Governments need to prioritize cybersecurity in national budgets. Investing in infrastructure and training programs will be crucial in building a resilient digital economy. South Africa and Nigeria can lead the way, setting examples for other countries to follow. Encouraging regional and international collaboration. African nations must work together, sharing information and resources to combat cybercrime effectively. Collaborating with international organizations like the African Union, Interpol, and even private tech firms can strengthen the continent's defense against global cyber threats. In conclusion, Africa's cybercrime explosion is a serious threat, but it's one that can be managed with the right strategies. The continent's economic future depends on its ability to create secure digital environments that attract investment and foster growth. Countries like South Africa and Nigeria are stepping up, but the entire continent must unite to build a robust defense against cyber threats. What do you think? Is enough being done to combat cybercrime in Africa? Are governments taking this issue seriously enough? Or is it just talk? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Remember, the future of Africa's economy depends on a secure digital landscape, and it's up to all of us to play our part. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into Africa's economy and the forces shaping our continent's future. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to African Finance Watch for more in-depth content on Africa's economy and investment opportunities. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when our next video drops.